Hey,
Hey,
hi, my friend.
how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing okay today.
Oh, good. It's so good to see you. You look great.
You do too.
I'm excited to talk with you.
Me too. It's been a long time coming. I just want to start by saying thank you for giving me this time.
Oh, you bet.
Before my chronic pain issues started, I was a contributing member to society. I was working a full-time job. I was volunteering in my community. My husband and we coached baseball. I managed, he coached. We had the best team in the league. They all hated us, go figure.
Yeah.
But went on to coach football. And he's an Eagle Scout. And we did scouting with our boys. And rain, shine, sleet, snow, we were out there in the elements. So, I learned a lot from that. I was a Girl Scout. Um, my whole life on the honor roll or very close to it. I had a hard life at home.
Mm,
Roman Catholic, Italian. My mother's family, sweethearts. The discipline, I think, when we were younger was harsh.
mm,
And my father wanted to control the family because his mother controlled his family. And when he went out on his own, he said, I'll never have another person control me. But then he controlled my whole family.
mm.
And when I was 13, I was skating up the street. I loved to roller skate. And that's where I took out all my anger, frustrations, and everything. I skated it out. And when I was 18, I left my house due to my story runs deep, long, and wide, in every direction. I am fully aware of everything that goes on in this world. My story runs deep, long, and wide. We've lost so many chronic pain patients because they go to the street and they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
When I was 18, I left my house and I put my skates up because at that point, it was survival mode. And I lived in somebody's closet. I slept on somebody's dirt floor of a cellar. One day, my ex and I woke up. We couldn't even get out. Somebody put tires over the bulkhead. We couldn't even get out. We had to force ourselves out. I know what it's like to live on the street.
Wow.
The first day I was gonna go live in a hotel in the center of my city, and my ex didn't show up. And I sat there in the office waiting for somebody who was another ex-boyfriend of mine. He's the one that told me about this place. He was skating, so I waited. While I waited, some guy, an older gentleman, came and he paid my bill, but then he wanted me to come upstairs.
Yeah.
And at 18 and being so naive and sheltered, you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to get me drunk and I ran. I ran out that room so fast. I was so lucky. People look at me, they don't think I'm street smart, but I am. I've seen it all. And I ended up pregnant with my first son. My son's father came one day, and same man I'm talking about, gave me a line of cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
And I became pregnant that night.
Oh, wow.
And I've been talking to my youngest son about men and drugs and how men like to give women drugs and then they control them. And it's sad. And this is the whole concept of the women out on the street corners. the men that are pimping them out. You know, it's all encompassing. The drug addicts that are out on the street, society looks at them and say they're trash, but you don't know their stories.
Yeah.
They are the biggest empaths in this world, and they've stuffed all their emotions down and they don't know what to do. So they use.
Yeah.
And chronic patients, we're the flip of that. We're also empaths, but our emotions, we stuff because we're trying to help others and we take on others' pain. And then our pain gets stuffed and then it comes out in physical pain. Addicts' pain comes more out in emotional and mental pain. But then when chronic pain patients don't get treated correctly, it turns to emotional and mental pain.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what happened to me. And so I'm going to fast forward to 98. I believe it was 98. I got into my first car accident. I was out of work 3 months. And I had gone to a chiropractor. And he said to me, one day you're probably going to end up with fibromyalgia. I didn't even remember that word. I put it in the back burner. All I wanted to do was get back to work. I had a career I was working. And he told me I pulled every single ligament in my back.
Wow.
Back's never been the same since that first accident. Never been the same. So I worked through the pain. Some days were worse, some days were better. And then my career started flourishing. And I'm going to rep a few financial institutions because I work in the financial services industry. Columbia Management, Acorn Wanger, Prudential, Eaton Vance, Bank of America, Cohen and Stairs, and many more. I have literally worked with these people one-on-one. They know me. They know my work ethic.
Yeah.
And the people I worked with at State Street is where I worked. They know my work ethic. And when I was in financial reporting and moving on up, I used to go to my manager. I used to get in there 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. He would come in probably 7, a little after 7. And every morning over a cup of coffee, we'd talk every single morning. You know, so they pushed me at that job. Most clients had like more than one officer or AVP. I was the only one from my client, Cohen and Stairs. But they used me on other accounts as well.
Yeah.
So I was bouncing between clients, doing a cycle step flip because we have multiple deliverables during a cycle. And so one would come, you're working on 2 to 3 cycles at a time and multiple clients. I had to literally up here, keep everything. I mean, schedules. I did my own scheduling for my group. You know, so when I ended up in the second accident in 2014, I couldn't believe what the doctors did to me. In 2012, I was being so overworked. I went to the doctors. I said, listen, I'm having migraines. I don't feel good. My back hurts. It's sore. I can't, you know, just everything that fibromyalgia entails. And said, you know, something's wrong with me. It's not, you can't just treat each separately. There's got to be something wrong. So I did my own research. I says, I want you to test me for fibromyalgia. My sister, she has MS. My mother had polymyalgia. Autoimmune illnesses run in my family. They wanted to be slick about everything, and everything that they diagnosed me with was the parallel to the autoimmune diseases. And, you know, not rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, not MS or lupus, fibromyalgia. Oh, we're not going to treat you correctly. We're just going to let you suffer. And until I went, and I have something called HS, it's I can't even pronounce it. I call it HS.
Okay.
And you get these boils in certain parts of your body.
Wow.
That is autoimmune, and they couldn't even say
Correct
no, it's not.
diagnosis. Yeah.
Yeah. And prior to all this, back when I was like 18, I ended up with Graves' disease, which is an autoimmune disease. And they turned around and told me, well, the iodine took care of that. How does iodine just take care of an autoimmune disease? I feel like my thyroid is the problem here.
Yeah.
And they don't even want to give me my thyroid medication. I'm fighting for that. It's the only medication I'm on right now, other than Humira. And then I take supplements now. So they diagnosed me with fibromyalgia in 2012. And I was still working 60 to 80 hours a week. I kept begging my job to let me work from home because the commute in and out of Boston is like a 3-hour commute total on a good day with a train. And they said 1 to 2 days. Although when I really wasn't feeling good, they would give me like an extra day. But there were other people working from home 5 days a week from other states. And I was like, why do you need me in the office? I can do my job from home. And we can now prove it now that everybody works from home COVID.
That's right. I work from home.
They wouldn't let me. And so I got real sick, and just everything that was going on in my house. I was raising teenagers and early 20s, and they had their friends coming in, and I'm trying to work, and I'm getting sicker, and they're just throwing their stuff on me, and I'm sicker. Then I got into another accident, and it took me right out of the game. I ended up with a TBI. My primary refutes that, and he says there's no way you had to have a TBI in an accident that small.
What's a TBI?
Traumatic brain injury.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So for the longest time, I was walking around in a fog in my own head, but then they snowed me on meds on top of it. All the meds that you guys prescribed me, I'd have been comatose. 20 meds they had me on, and not one was a pain medication, not one. I had surgery on my hand. I was starting to feel better, and I want to leave. I want to leave the state because I'm not getting my medical treatment correctly.
You're not feeling taken care of.
I started feeling better. I started listening to music. I started listening to guided meditations on YouTube, meditations. I started, just candles, scents, everything.
Yeah.
And I started getting my brain connection started connecting, and I started feeling better. So I started trying to clean up my house, fix my house up. And I had a little tiny cyst right here on the bottom of my thumb. And they started me on Humira for my HS. So I don't know if it was the Humira that made this worse, or if it was me moving my hand.
Okay.
But the cyst that was on my hand grew like 10 times bigger than it was in like 2 months. It just grew, and it was painful. And I kept saying to my husband, I'm like, we could just keep going, and every time I ding this, it's going to hurt and go all the way up my arm, or I can get it taken care of now and then not have to worry about it. Well, stupid me went to the same place that I was being treated prior to. I went back to them. I've had many injections. They never worked.
Yeah.
So I went back to them, and this doctor, he sent a PA in to take a look at my hand, and he's playing with it. And of course, playing with it, and I'm in pain. Nice. Thank you. So then the doctor came in, and he said, I can schedule this whenever. I said, well, as soon as possible. We had this conversation. I said, I am trying to leave I want this done so I can leave, so I can heal and leave.
Yeah.
You know, he said, it's a small surgery. You should be healed within 6 weeks. I said, okay. And he said, well, I can get you in a week. So he went in there, and before I even went in, we discussed pain management. He knew I had a pain management doctor, but my pain management doctor wasn't treating me. I had only seen him one time. This was my 5th pain management doctor I had gone to. And
Wow.
we talked about it, and he said, well, what do you want for pain? I said, something that's going to work, because I don't want to have to come back at you in 2 days. And guess what happened? He gave me 2 days worth of Percocets, and I was calling him right after, and I said, I can't deal with this pain. He never returned my call the whole weekend. Thursday, the surgery was Wednesday. I called him Thursday. I called him Friday. No call, no call. Saturday, Sunday, no call, no call, obviously. Monday, I'm sitting in my nutritionist's office, which they knew I was sitting there because they're all connected. So they knew I had the appointment. He called me when I was in that appointment.
Mm-hmm.
Told me, oh, I'll be in my office today and tomorrow until 6. So as soon as I got out, I called him. Still no answer. So I waited the 2 weeks to go back. And when I went back to get my stitches taken out, there was a big issue at the front desk to begin with. They told me if I didn't have my $5 copay, which insurance is a whole other issue, if I didn't have my $5 copay, I wasn't going to be able to see the doctor. But the doctor was in surgery, and I was seeing his PA anyway, and I needed my stitches taken out. And here's the whole thing. Like my husband said, I shouldn't have had to pay for that visit at all, because it was a follow-up to a surgery. And the nurse, she was really nice, and she was like, well, the doctor will help you out with pain. Because I told her, I said, I have no pain meds, nothing, I'm in pain. She goes, oh, don't worry, the doctor will help you out. Well, when the PA, now this was the second PA, he come in and called me an addict. He saw my videos, the stuff he said. Well, you have fibromyalgia. We don't treat post-operative pain 2 weeks out. You have a pain management doctor. Go see your pain management doctor. Isn't he treating your pain? Most people don't even take the 8 Percocets we give them. That was enough for me to storm out of his office.
What?
My husband, the whole thing.
After surgery? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is terrible.
Yeah. So then I went down to the front desk, and of course I wanted to speak to the manager. She was on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So I went downstairs, and I'm in my car bawling. I called my PCP. I left a message for them, bawling. I said, they're not going to help me. I need help. I'm in pain. They never returned my call. I went home, and now your wife, she knows the intense pulsating from the inside out. Boom, 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 right? And it's bad, and everything was swollen. So I'm like, I have my arm up like this. I can't get comfortable. 3 months went by. I dealt with this for 3 months, thinking, if I just wait another day, and it wasn't getting better, it's getting worse.
Well, yeah, and it's more than just this. I mean, it's painful enough with the surgery that you had, but you're starting to realize there's other things that's happening, and you're trying to get attention to it.
Exactly. And they just turned their backs. So I think it was 2 months out, I had an appointment with my pain doctor, and that conversation is in a video. And I circled everything that he said, that he fact-checked himself and said, well, I'll treat post-op pain. I'm telling you, I just had an operation, but you're not treating my pain. Well, what are you talking? I mean, seriously. We had a conversation. My first appointment with him, I said, I want opioids for my pain. I refuse to give you, stating studies that then when I said, produce the studies, he couldn't.
We hear that a lot from people when they're talking to us, and that they're just trying to just find a healthy path with good people to feel better. Your passion and your energy comes across, your heart comes across, and you're wanting to feel heard, you're wanting to feel validated, you're wanting to be taken care of. And I'm sorry for not just some of the past traumas that you have gone through. Kind of be in that space where the walls are up. Okay, and here's another thing is that you've got people that aren't talking about things anyway. And so people are starting to open up. But you've got somebody that has a past like that, their walls are up and they're concrete. And so then you're going around, and then it's like, who do I trust to have some of those walls come down? It can be a cycle. And my heart, I want you to know, my heart genuinely goes out to that. And you have a lot of that. You've got good people and caretakers and people that are, and you want to surround yourself around that. You want to get good providers.
She is an angel.
Yeah.
You have to have her.
Yeah. She's genuinely caring and loving. Her heart goes out to people that are suffering. She hurts. She would love to be here. She's so sorry that she can't.
Okay.
And she gives her love to you.
People come at me and they go, "You're so harsh. You've got such a harsh way about things." I am sweet as pie if you come at me correct.
It's all right.
I love my husband. There is never going to be another person that can take his place. Never in my life. He takes care of me, and he takes care of me in every way possible.
Well, and
God saved me, and I saved myself.
Yeah.
I heard those words while
Great.
I was almost laying on the floor after coming back from the ER that morning and almost killing myself. My husband saved me. I heard in my ear, "Don't cry, dry your eyes. Everything's going to be okay. Go to sleep. I got you, my child. I know you're all suffering." And I know that in your own minds, you go back and forth between, am I really an addict or am I just a chronic pain patient? I am a chronic pain patient that did not have her opioid medication for almost 10 years. I got a YouTurn's patch and it worked. It helped my mind calm down. It took my pain away. You can get them from your doctor 6 months at a time, but they are not, and I repeat, not to be used long term. I still have on my, from 2-3 weeks ago, they're literal chemical burns. When I first started taking them, putting them on, they were fine. I could use one a whole week. Now I can't even put them on for a day. They burn me. But I have to use them. If I get into a lot of pain, I will put one on. I try not, but I do use them.
Like spikes or whatever, kind of flare.
Yeah. Yes. Do not allow other people to tell you what works and what doesn't work for you. Each one of us is different with our own chemistry. And if you do think you're an addict, go get help. I don't know what's to come. Only good things, good news, good beings, and the rest is gravy.
Pretty good.
You got to unwind the negative to get to the positive. It's the only way out. You really have to do your own work in your own brain. It's the only way to get out. You need to unwind everything. You have to go back to when you were a child. You have to think about everything every person in your life has ever said to you, how you feel about that person, how that person living their life right now and unwind the trauma and follow your own intuition. That is number one. And self-care is key. Take care of yourselves. Take all the time you need alone if you need to, and heal the traumas.
Just need to take care of ourselves and each other. I think that you've done a good job of sharing that today.
Thanks,
Okay.
hon.
Okay. We'll see you. Have a good day. Okay.
Love you guys.
Okay. We love you. Bye.